First of all, there will be a presentation of the team, AmmoSolution, with the title, Proposal for Amendments to the STCW Convention for the Safe Operation of Ammonia-Fueled Ships.
We are entering an eco-friendly era. It's time to consider sustainability in every field, especially in shipping. Now, ships must think green. By adopting ammonia and other sustainable fuels, we can ensure clean oceans and a healthier planet for the future generations. We are Team AmmoSolution. We will set up the foundation for the introduction of ammonia.
Good afternoon, honorable judges and distinguished delegates. We are Team AmmoSolution. We are here to propose the importance of establishing regulations for ammonia fuel ships. Our proposition is composed for 4 parts: background, problem analysis, proposal, and conclusion. We will firstly talk about how we reached to this topic. Recently, we've been seeing lots of updates for environmental regulations in various industries. One big example is the IMO, which has set a target to net zero carbon emissions by 2050. This is a major turning point for the shipping industry. They are focusing on developing and using more of sustainable fuels. One fuel that gets a lot of attention is ammonia. Ammonia stands out because it is carbon-free while burning, which means it does not reduce any carbon dioxide while combustion. Although there are some problems to solve. One major concern is safety. Ammonia is highly corrosive and toxic. Even small amounts can be harmful, and even they can lead to death. So there's already been several accidents involving ammonia across various industries. These incidents often stem from leaks, spills, or improper usage. This highlights the necessity of safety measures and training to lower the risks. Now we will take a closer look at the problem.
Problem analysis. However, we still need to establish international regulation for ammonia as a fuel. There is still a significant lack of training and awareness among crew members regarding the risk associated with ammonia. This gap in understanding increased the likelihood of accidents. To reduce this risk and enhance safety, we believe it's essential to revise the STCW regulations. Currently, the STCW regulations do not address ammonia power ships because the technology is still under development. So, amendment to the STCW convention reflecting ammonia as a fuel is needed. Since the STCW convention is currently undergoing a comprehensive revision, it is essential to develop guidelines related to ammonia and incorporate them into the convention at this moment. This would establish a systematic framework for crew members and helping to prevent marine accidents and ensure safe operations. Now, we will outline where and how we propose to amend the content. I will start with the amendment proposal for STCW Court Part A, Chapter 6. This proposal addresses new training standards specifically focused on ammonia. First, the proposed change ammonia mandatory minimum requirements for all crew members on ammonia-fueled vessels. Crew members will need specific knowledge of emergency response procedures, equipment handling, and actions required in ammonia-related accidents. Key training content includes actions in the event of an ammonia leak. Crews will learn evacuation and isolation procedures. Drills will focus on safely guiding personnel to safety zones without causing panics. Proper use of protective equipment and firefighting gear will include training for fire resistant chutes and firefighting equipment specifically for ammonia fires. Emergency response training, which includes specialized ammonia fire response training. Also, each vessel will establish a dedicated emergency response teams with clear defined roles. Moving on to medical requirements. Medical first aid and medical care requirements covers essential training on medical response for ammonia toxicity. For medical training for ammonia toxicity should be added at this table, which includes symptoms and treatment that train crews to recognize ammonia exposure symptoms and to provide immediate first aid. Symptoms, response procedures for toxicity, differentiate actions for mild versus severe risk exposures. Associated use and guidelines for crew members learn specific dosing and administration of antidotes with guidelines to ensure accurate treatment during ammonia-related incidents. Also, emergency medical equipment, which is regular checks of emergency first aid kits, ensure they are fully stocked and ready with oxygen mask, medications, and antidotes for immediate use. Should be added at this table. Specification of minimum standard of competence in medical care. With these protocols in place, crew members on ammonia-fueled ships will be better prepared to handle emergencies safely and effectively. Also, making details for education and training on these topics to the ammonia model courses is needed too. Now, I'll hand it to my teammate for the next part.
As ammonia fuels are low flash point fuel, so they should follow the IGF code. But the current requirements for ships subject to IGF code in STCW are applicable to only LNG ships. As we thought, there should be the need for specific education and risk establishment for ammonia fuel ship, so we propose these contents. All of these proposals are based on STCW Code A sections A5/3 and IMO model clauses 7.13 and 7.14. Basic knowledge of ammonia fuel ship, including the physical properties and the fuel system, is required. Also, operation of monitoring and control systems are essential. They must also have the knowledge of the arrangement system and the condition of the fuel that are stored. Because ammonia exists in the form of colorless gas, so gas detection is very important. Accordingly, the knowledge to handle gas measuring devices and gas leak situation is needed. In addition, crew members should be familiar with basic knowledge on personal safety work rules and procedures based on industrial guidelines and regulations. For this, it is necessary to create a risk assessment for ammonia fuel ship during daily tour meeting before work. And the PSC inspection items are also needed to be considered. When the exhaust gas of ammonia fuel is released into the air, massive amount of fine dust and NOx can be generated. Accordingly, it is very important to understand the operation of specific devices for ammonia fuel ship, such as emission reduction device and ventilation devices. Ammonia is toxic and has a unique strong smell, so local complaints are unavoidable. In addition, if ammonia is leaked during bunkering, large scale of environmental pollution and various human damage may occur. To prevent this, it is necessary to be familiar with the operation and the system of bunkering. Training and education of emergency response in an accident while bunkering are also required to prevent environmental pollution. It is necessary to understand actions and equipment uses in emergency situations. In an emergency situation during work such as leakage, it is necessary to understand the fuel treatment and the emergency measures related to the fuel system. When it is an emergency situation to deal with fire, it is necessary to familiar with the operation of the firefighting system, including emergency stops of machines, and these matters should be trained and educated under realistic conditions that are simulated. All of these educational requirements should be the mandatory minimum standards for the certifications of crew members on ammonia fuel ships. Basic and advanced education should be conducted according to the level, whether if it's an operational level or management level. All training courses should be established with certain periods of experience that are made on board. In addition, as ammonia fuel ships are commercialized, continuous revisions should be made with more detailed and specific criteria. Next, we will talk about watchkeeping section.
With new types of vessels coming into play, the duties of watchkeepers are more getting crucial than ever. They have to be familiar with both manned and unmanned watchkeeping procedures and regulations so that they can act correctly in various situations. And this will be the key to keep everyone safe and prevent incidents on board. So, we've added regulations for the watchkeepers of the deck and engine department in chapters 2 and 3. Deck officers and crew members that are on ship of IGF code need to follow the guidelines of A2/1 and A2/5, but there are some extra regulations they have to meet. In Chapter 2, we've added a new section, which is Section 6, that lays out those additional rules. This part is split into two parts: accident prevention and emergency situations. For accident prevention, it's important for officers and crew members that are on duty to know about the fuel and handling precautions to avoid accidents. For emergency situations, they need to be familiar with emergency procedures and the medical tools we've said before. Watchkeepers especially need to be ready to handle unexpected incidents right away. Next, we will talk about engine department. Engine department of the ships of IGF code should follow the rules in A3/1 and A3/7, also with some added requirements. This part is also divided into two sections. Engineers and crew members should have a solid understanding of the control systems. Watchkeepers must stay alert about the basic control system and gas detecting system. Plus, they should know the emergency manuals and escape routes in case of such situations. Since ammonia can be massively dangerous, watchkeepers need to know how to respond quickly as soon as possible. These proposed amendments we showed should be included in the strategic plan of the organization for the 6-year period from 2024 to 2029, particularly under SD1, which ensures the implementation of the STCW Convention. The outlook of the ammonia fuel looks bright, but it's important to set up the right regulations and conventions to support this new technology. To keep these ships to operate safely, we need clear guidelines and agreements for the crew members. That's why we're suggesting to amend the STCW Convention. Additionally, the model course should be set based on these changed regulations of STCW. The safety of crew members is a compass for the safety of eco-friendly vessels. This means that ensuring the safety of the crew members can significantly contribute to the overall safety of eco-friendly ships. Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone, please give them a big round of applause. Thank you, AmmoSolution, for impressive presentation. And let's take a Q&A. Okay, let's start with the judges. Any questions? Yes, please, Mr. Sao.
Thank you, AmmoSolution. In your slide number 24 and 26, you proposed a new Part A, the regulation number 6. As far as I understand, STCW convention itself is composed of convention, and Part A is a mandatory requirement, and Part B is recommended guidance. That is one set. I'd like to ask you the reason why you do not consider the Part B.
Thank you for your thoughtful question. We've added the solutions in Part A because we thought that this regulations has to be made right away, and it has to be mandatory so that courses and model courses can be added to Part B. And
I'll add it at this comment. So for the Part A is the minimum requirements, right? And the Part B is the recommendation. Since the ammonia-fueled vessels is coming out, and that's the one of the biggest part in the eco-friendly vessels nowadays, so we thought that we should put the ammonia-fueled power ships regulation at Part A, so that when the next kind of new eco-friendly vessels, we can put the regulation at Part B to compare them, or to put it to take them at the similar situations. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for the questions and answers. And any questions from other judges? Yes, please.
Thank you for your presentations. And so, according to the proposal, new model course reflecting the unique characteristics of ammonia fuel vessel is recommended with the IMO model course framework. Yeah, I fully understand what are your proposal. However, with regard to your proposal, is the understanding the characteristics of the fuel oil and operation of the equipment, fuel supply for ammonia fuel vessel, the understanding action and equipment usage in the response to the emergency situation. How to do? Could you explain some more in detail in terms of their methodologies?
So so we thought that the biggest difference between ammonia fuel and different fuels lies is that the ammonia fuel has a unique safety profile compared to other fuels. Is that ammonia presents a relatively low fire risk, but its most dangerous characteristic is its toxicity. So for the model cost and the needs of equipment is that they have to resistant with ammonia leaks. So for the seafarers who handle with the ammonia leaks or ammonia fires, the equipments that they use or the firefighting gears they use, they have to resist from the ammonia leaks. So the biggest thing is that so since the ammonia model codes is like a recommendation for the regulation, so adding them with ammonia resistant characteristic can be applied to the regulation.
Can I intervention to the answer? For example, to how to remove to the toxicity characteristic of ammonia. I would like to listen to the methodology and process.
So for example, for the ammonia fire, the extinguished agents, we can use dry powder, CO2, and water can be used to suppress ammonia fires. But the water is, after the fire is fully extinguished, the continuous spraying of a large volume of water on container to lower the internal temperature and to prevent the next problem.
I understand. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And let's move on to the floor. Are there any questions? Okay, Team Net Zero, please.
Yeah, thank you for your insightful presentation. And you mentioned that NOx and dust can be made while combustion. So is there any solution for this?
Okay, thanks for those two questions. And I think finders and NOx can be reduced with the devices that used in ships nowadays, like SCR systems and exhaust reduction system. And I think as ammonia fuel ships are going to more commercialized, I think we can see more advanced technology of exhaust gas reduction systems for ammonia fuel ships. Thank you.
Thank you. And other questions? Yes, Team Knox.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for your presentation. In slide number 4, I want to ask you, you have mentioned that ammonia fuel is clean fuel, but in my opinion, only hydrogen fuel is clean fuel because of, in ammonia case, there is NOx emissions, and in process of producing ammonia, now era, they use fossil fuels for producing ammonia, so we call that gray ammonia. So I want to ask you, why do you mention that ammonia is a clean fuel? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Can we just have a second, please? Because ammonia is a carbon-free fuel, so it doesn't make any carbon dioxide when it's burned. We think that's the reason why it's an eco-friendly fuel. And using auxiliary fuel might introduce some carbon during combustion, but it's expected to reduce carbon dioxide emissions by over 80% compared to other fuels. So that is the reason why we think it's a sustainable fuel.
Okay, thanks for Q&A. And other questions? Yes, team. Yes, safe system.
Yes, I have two questions. We look at your presentation page number 5, and it says constant ammonia leakage accidents. We're curious about how many ammonia leakage accidents happen on board or at the ship. Is there any statistics that we have to amend to the STCW to prevent the ammonia leakage? Is there enough accidents happening already to make the STCW amendments? And I'll just end with this one question. Thank you.
So first of all, thank you for your question. So actually, there's no many accidents that happen with ammonia on board now. But for example, on roads with the vehicles that they have ammonia containers that they bring in, they actually when the accidents once happen, usually they explode on the roads, and so not for the ammonia fuel as a fuel, but as they use when the storage tank, they explode when usually on the fishing boat. So we thought that we have to make it the regulation now, so that before the big vessels explode with the ammonia as a fuel. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we can get one more question. Yes, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your proposal as your topic. I think, as you pointed out during your presentation, it's very timely for us to propose to mandate or correct the current STCW because the ammonia is one of the potential fuels for the ships to prevent the carbonization. So it's very important sector. But when you propose this kind of the guidelines to the IMO, the background is very important. So you pointed out the reason. One of the reasons is that the ammonia fueled ships is one of the eco-friendly the fuel method. But I think the region should be like this. The many countries nowadays to start to develop the ammonia fueled vessels. So that is why we need to prepare such kind of guidelines for the ship crews to avoid have some harmful effect from the harmful effect. So even though to introduce or not, we need to prepare such kind of cases for the emergency cases when this kind of ammonia fueled vessel introduced in the real sector. So can you explain one more time the background of proposal, these safe guidelines to the IMO in terms of such kind of the global situation regarding ammonia fueled ships?
Please answer this question very shortly, please.
So that the world is all in attention with the ammonia fuel ships, and even KR and other places have thought about this situation. That is why we are amending to put this proposal on SCCW. Thank you.
Thank you. We are out of time, so let's wrap it up here. Thank you, Team AmmoSolution. AmmoSolution.